Welcome everybody to this week's question and answer video. My name is David. This channel is Damar's Coaching. I'm answering your guys' questions from last week. Anybody has questions, ask me anything you want, please. Repetitive questions, no such thing as stupid questions, just stupid answers. Ask me anything, please, down below in the comment section. Come back next week to the next video for the answer and let me know what you think of my answer. Not just if it was good or bad, if you understand it, if I understand it, if there's more elements to it that I can help you with. Please ask me, okay? I recommend something every week, usually, to help with our healing and recovery, and there's no better recommendation than some sort of talk therapy. Talk to somebody. Not just a friend or a family who doesn't understand or maybe even helped cause this in our childhood. Somebody that can't help with such complex things and especially help each other too personal. Find someone you can trust and share this with. Get it out. I'm going to dive into more of this into a question, one of your guys' questions about this later in this video. But talk therapy is number one. It's funny because I have a lot of people tell me that they can't find anyone to help them. Too bad, can't get help, I'm done. And you're telling me who helps people recover from narcissistic abuse. So it's kind of funny that people tell me they can't find help. I'm taking clients. If you'd like help, I know how to help people recover from narcissistic abuse. I'm not sitting here saying that anybody with some mental illness, diagnostic mental illness that I can cure it or help it. But I do know how to help people recover from narcissistic abuse. If you want help, you can find me at daviddemars.com. But don't give up, because I've been doing this for many years, and I have found through clients and other people and people I've met that there are therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists that do understand this, that very much understand personality disorders and the effect that people with these disorders have on other people around them, and people that can treat and heal CPTSD. So don't give up on yourself, please. Talk. It's the only thing that cures this. There's no drugs that cure this. There's no supplemental exercises or rapid eye movement or anything like that that helps, that cures. Everything else is supplemental, goes along with talk therapy, okay? And I would love to know all of you who have done this, who have talked to somebody or are talking to someone now, and how beneficial it is for you. Okay, with that being said, let's get into the questions. And all I ask you guys, please give us your locations. Tell us where you are. Be general. Don't want addresses. Hemispheres, at least. Let us know where you're at. I know that I like it, and I know that a lot of you guys enjoy that. To know that you're not alone. It's not just your city, your town, your country, some part of the world that this happens. It's everywhere. Wherever there's people, there's toxic people. There's people with personality disorders. I mean, it's kind of scary. If you look up, and that, the statistics on personality disorders vary so much on how many have them. It's insane, like really crazy. I mean, numbers from 1%, 0.5% to 30%. I mean, it's real hard to get people to agree on this. And if you add up 10 personality disorders, that's a lot of disordered people out there. Okay, so let us know where you are. And if you want to ask me questions, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Sometimes I see that people ask me questions and aren't even subscribed. It'd be nice to just push one button for all the work that I do. I do this for free. I don't even monetize my videos, so you guys don't have commercials. I wear black, so you're not even distracted on what I'm wearing anymore. Just help, okay? So if you can support me, it would really help this message. It would help. And the biggest complaint I hear from you guys is that nobody understands this and people get away with this all the time. And so support people like myself in what we're doing here, spreading a message and awareness out there that these things exist, people like this exist, and it's absolutely damaging, okay? And we need to stand up to this type of behavior and not allow it everywhere. So you can support me by commenting down below, by liking the videos, liking the comments, sharing this video with yourself or someone else, and subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. Rory from Ohio. Hi, Rory. I'm grateful for people sharing their comments on here. It has helped me so much to look at the things from other perspectives. I've gained so much knowledge from all your videos, David. Your support has been invaluable on my journey. Thanks again. And that's what I'm talking about. So you guys just giving your own experiences, just typing it down below might help you guys just get it out to understand it better, but it also helps other people see this. Every single person's experience and journey are unique and different, okay? But the feelings are the same. We all have these feelings that we get, and we need hope, okay? We need help, we need hope, because we've been feeling helpless and hopeless, and that's not good. So little things you guys can do for that. And thank you very much, Rory. Rory has been so supportive over the years to this channel, has helped this channel grow and the message spread immensely. Thank you, Rory. All right, never too hard to start fresh. From Bronx, New York. Hi. Thank you so much for answering my question. Hearing your compassionate response almost made me cry. I live in Bronx, New York. I've been trying to get some very necessary separation time for myself and to get some medical help for my daughter. We have excellent health insurance, but getting out of the house has been impossible, causing her a major panic attack. Sometimes I'll suggest some fun activities, but these are usually ignored or cause irritability, pacing, etc. I don't know your name, but this person takes care of their autistic daughter, went through a huge traumatic journey of figuring out what was her daughter's problem. But low functioning autism, just very difficult to take care of. And I'm really sorry. You also go on to say, things are improving now with baby steps. All I can say is God bless you for making yourself available for us. You rock. Thank you. And that's really nice to hear. That is, at least things are getting better. I offered trying to find someone to help you that takes care of people like this. Maybe they can come over to your house and give you a break. Good luck. Thanks for your comment. And Jennifer from the Midwest. Hi, Jennifer. This is probably an odd question. Probably not. But for some reason, I have this crazy idea a narcissist can possibly age out of it. He's 63 years old and readily admits that he needs to change and will say he has, but he goes to therapy and it's all about his bad childhood and not his adult behavior. I know you say it keeps them in victim mode to elicit pity, but it's still not getting him anywhere. The flip-flop behavior remains. I'm away for now, but hope I don't go back. We might need more than hope. Take my recommendation at the beginning of the video. Though it's taken me years to have acceptance, I know he's probably a lost cause. I don't know if anyone's a lost cause, though it hurts to say that about someone, I'm sure. Thank you, David. You helped me understand things I never knew about before. It's appreciated. Thank you. I appreciate you too, Jennifer. So, without even telling you my opinion, really, when you understand how the network of our brains work and how they're formed, you'll see that someone who's 63 years old is going to have major difficulty to impossible to change who they are. Personality is a big part of who we are. For our personality to be disordered, we almost have to change who we are, how we think, how we feel, how we behave and act and process things. And there might be major damage. There might be cognitive dysfunctioning that can't be fixed. I don't know. But when someone gets to be 63 years old, you ever heard the term, you can't teach an old dog new tricks? If you are 22 years old, you can almost change anything. 62 years old, 72, ooh. We're pretty well set as our brains form an architecture built on just what we're doing. That's why every brain's different. Our brain just wants us to be better and tries to get better at what we're doing. A bricklayer of 23 years, you watch them work, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Yeah, you could. 23 years of it, you can be that good. And then to erase that and tell this bricklayer of 23 years who does it perfectly every time to say, nope, you're doing it all wrong. You got to do it totally different. That's going to be difficult for them. And that's just laying bricks. Okay? There's been studies on cab drivers in London. The streets and driving in London is just insane. And the way that their brain works has been by years of driving and doing different things, and that's how they do it, and they can't do it differently. It'd be really hard to do that. But when we're young, our brains are malleable. Brains don't even stop growing till 25, 26 years old. And that's why children, I don't really like diagnosing children. They can change a lot of things. But as we get older, it gets more difficult. Much more difficult. If you guys need help, get help now. Don't wait. Okay? Jennifer, take my advice that I gave in the beginning of the video, okay? Talk to somebody. This isn't about him. This is about you. You can't change him. You can't control him. I don't know if he even can. But at some point, we have to accept who somebody is. And that's whoever they're showing you they are today. We don't have to judge people for the past. We just hold people accountable for what they do today. And if somebody goes to therapy and they can't stop abusing you, then we have to accept that. If you want to accept them in your life, do it 100% knowing that they're not going to change, that they're going to keep treating you this way, especially at 63. Okay? Good luck. Thanks, Jennifer, for your question. Big Dave from Tennessee here. Hi, Big Dave. You said in your other video, 15 signs you're not a narc. I said narcissist. I don't use narc. If you end a 10-year toxic relationship, 10 years later, you are worse now because of not getting help. You offer to explain what that looks like. I would like to know, if you don't mind. Yeah. Not to dive all the way into it. It's definitely a separate video. Maybe I'll make one. Untreated mental illness usually gets worse. Some can get better, even just in time. Sure. Things that deal with they don't use the term neurosis anymore, but anxiety. Anxiety can get better over the years in life. The problem with what you guys are experiencing are relationship problems, and they're major. We're not protecting ourselves. We're not getting what we need, and it causes stress. The biggest source of stress is from relationships. Also the biggest source of comfort. They're the most important things to us. We all react differently to this kind of stuff. And so just taking somebody who needs help, maybe you have CPTSD, and you don't get help and it goes untreated, there's all kinds of different things that can happen. So I don't want to get into specifics and say this could happen, this could happen, this. But what usually happens, just generally, is we don't build that relationship with ourselves. If we're allowing toxic people into our life and they're abusing us over time, we don't end it right away, and we see this as a pattern all the way back from our childhood. And here's the biggest thing. One of the hardest things for people in adulthood to understand is to draw the connection to childhood and understand that we were neglected in childhood. I had a perfect childhood. And we just open it up and go, no, it wasn't. You were neglected. There's just no way. We have about 10 emotional needs. And you guys probably didn't have any of these met in your relationship ever. I'm sure. Not with a narcissist, a sociopath, and probably even a borderline. Probably didn't have any of your needs met. If we had a relationship like this, there's some normalcy to that. That's normal. We grew up not having your needs. Because if you grew up unconditionally having your needs met, we wouldn't be doing this, period. We just don't. We just don't. And the people that can't understand what you're going through, unless they just lack empathy, which is a lot of the people in your life. That's why we're like this. That's why we drew friends and girlfriends and boyfriends and husbands and wives to us, because of our family. We're like this. But most people are healthy. Most people have their needs met and therefore can't understand how you stayed in a 5-year relationship with none of your needs being met, and on top of it, because neglect is abuse, but also literally emotionally traumatizing you and physically abusing you and financially exploiting you. So going untreated, we need to develop that relationship with ourselves. It's essential. And this relationship with ourselves helps us have relationships with other people. We have to have this one first. We have to have this one first. And if we didn't develop maturely into an adult, a fully functioning emotional adult with some emotional intelligence, we're going to have big, big problems in life. And what I've seen, people that don't get help, it gets worse. And it doesn't have to be with that person. All toxic relationships get worse until the end. Period. If an abusive relationship will always get worse. And it can start from name calling and end in murder, homicide. That fast too. We have to heal from our past. And what does that mean? It means understanding it and feeling better about it. And we do this by talking and processing things that we didn't learn growing up. By talking about it and processing it, we're also learning emotional language. We make sense of what happened here, or our brains will obsess on it and tell us everything scary and not even allow us to have informed relationships again or with ourselves. And then we need to feel better about the experience. And then we need to learn what we need to learn, what we did not know. So there's things that you don't know even about yourself, about your childhood, about who you are today, about how you think and how you feel and process emotions and how you communicate this. This can develop. So what happens if we're neglected, we have certain amounts of guilt and shame. If we don't understand what happened, we have self-doubt, low self-worth, low self-confidence, low self-esteem. And it's real easy to not even be aware of that and think, no, that's ridiculous. I have lots of self-worth. I just let people abuse me. No, you don't have lots of self-worth if people abuse you. And it's not just them. We have a part in this. It's not your fault. If somebody hurts you, it's their fault. But we have a part. And if we don't understand what that part is, if we can't own something, then we have no control over our future. And we believe it'll happen again. And this thing will be convincing and tell you it'll happen again. If we don't know who we are, we can't have a very good relationship with other people. If we don't learn how to communicate better, we're just screwed. This can develop into addictions. This can develop into anxiety, depression, and anxiety disorders and depression disorders. There's sexual dysfunction disorders. CPTSD is an umbrella term for all kinds of different mental illness and disorders, from obsessive compulsive disorder to addiction disorders, all kinds of problems. And these can get and most likely get worse. They most likely get worse. And the problem I see in people healing and recovering is they just want to feel better. I have people that hire me thinking that my job is to make them feel better, and it is not. You will not. The purpose of hiring any professional with mental illness is not for them to make you feel better. If you have a problem making yourself feel better, I can make suggestions on how to do that for yourself. But I'm not just here to talk to you for an hour and fluff you up and make you feel all great about yourself. I might point out some beautiful parts of you that you're not aware of, and I might validate things and stuff like that. But I'm not here to just make you feel happy. I'm here to help you feel better about your experiences, understand them, and find success now. Whether that just be identifying red flags, understanding how relationships are formed, knowing what I truly value and how to live by that, knowing what I want, knowing what I need. There's a lot. It's complex. It's not easy. I couldn't even help, and therapists cannot help people in their life personally. It just doesn't work like that. Our brains don't work like that. We're either in our work brain or our relationship brain. Can't be in both. Causes lots of problems and mistakes and stress. But if you do not get help with this, and I don't care what else you're doing besides talk therapy of some sort. People want acupuncture, they ask about the eyes thing, and they ask about this and that. Does this cure? Does this cure? No, none of it cures. No drugs cure. Sorry, we haven't found a drug that cures yet. The closest thing I have found is a hormone. It's essential, I think, but it's not a cure. We need to talk. We need to make sense of it. We need to feel better about it and be prepared and equipped to have functional, loving relationships so we can finally get our needs met. Most people I talk to about this have never had their needs met, and they think they have. And they think their childhood was okay. And they think they're at fault for the relationship they had that when they were being abused. It's a mess. It's a mess, and it will get worse. And what I mean by the toxic relationships always get worse, yes, the one that you were in or that you're in now that's toxic, it will always get worse. Even if you take 5 years off and get back together, it'll be worse. You'll pick up right where you started. Every single time, every person I've seen. But if you even end it with that person and don't get better, the next relationship usually is worse. And then the one after that's worse. And then you think, oh my God, how could it possibly get worse? Until you meet the next one and you see it's worse. And then we just waste our life with a bunch of people who are mentally ill, who don't want to get better and just hurt people and don't have much empathy to even know that they're doing it or care. And we just feel sorry for them. Yeah. I have massive compassion for people with mental illness. I do. But when you become an adult and you don't even try to get better and you ruin other people's lives, I have way more compassion for them. For you. It's helped me have self-compassion. But if you don't get the help you need, then you aren't worth it. That's not me saying it. That's you saying it. I'm not worthy of it. And if you don't get your needs met, then you aren't worthy of it. Right? Prove me wrong. Say, no, David, I'm worthy of it. Good. Prove it. Get help. Know what your needs are. I bet I could ask all of you, one at a time, however many watch this video, 1,000 people, what are your emotional needs? I bet at least 95% of you are wrong. I bet 95% of you are going to tell me what you value. You're going to tell me how it feels. You're going to tell me what you want, not what you need, or even know how to get it. Pretty sad. I don't know how you can move on from this, because all the relationships and problems are emotionally significant, based on our emotional needs. I make healthy videos, nobody watches them. Healthy memes, no likes. Sick, evil, disgusting, nasty, toxic, dark memes, you guys love it. There has to come a time where we really heal. And you don't need to be afraid of yourself and anything you're ashamed of. We all are embarrassed and ashamed of something in our life. Once you understand human beings and you have compassion for them, it doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. It's like a doctor seeing someone naked. They've seen 5,000 people naked. They don't care what you look like naked. Trust me, both my parents were doctors. They didn't care. And just like therapists that help people every day, they don't care how bad your life is. They want to help you make it better. And most professionals have some good tips and know how. Hope I've made some sense. I didn't want to dive too much into it. You can look at the brain. The brain needs to be repaired. That's while we sleep. You guys go through massive trauma and tell me, oh, I'm okay with 4 hours of sleep. No, you're not. You need 9. But you'll only get it if you believe you're worthy of it. Okay, that's enough rant. Thanks, Big Dave. Let me know if you have something else you want to ask me about this, okay? Oh, you have another question. Thanks for answering my questions a while back about acting impulsive. You're welcome. You shared about how your last time you reacted, it was because you were disrespected. I catch myself doing this and I need to take accountability for my actions. How did you take accountability for you reacting impulsively to the person who disrespected you? So, real simple for most of us, difficult to impossible for others. You apologize. Yeah. You apologize. And you don't just say, sorry. Sorry. And you don't apologize twice for the same action. And when you apologize, you better understand what you've done and how it affected that person. Period. It's real hard to do this if you lack empathy, if you lack awareness of how other people are affected by your behaviors. If you lack self-awareness and can't look at yourself and realize that you're the one doing it. So, 1, you tell the person, I understand what I did and how it affected you. 2, you tell them you're very sorry that you did this. And 3, you promise that you'll never, ever do it again. And 4, you change that behavior. Okay? It's real simple. Somebody that does something that they already apologized for is manipulating you. Or they're not in control of their behaviors. Bye-bye. But you hold yourself accountable. And that's if you care. That's if you care about how your behaviors affect other people. And that's if you care about how people feel in your life. But what matters is how you behave. The choices that you make is what matters, not what somebody else does to you. So you can walk up to me and spit in my face. I'm not going to spit back. I'm going to be respectful and walk away. I'm serious. I've been tested many times over the many years now that I've been recovered and healed. I've passed. So it's been a really long time since I've done this, since I've had to, since I've been disrespectful to somebody else. But that's how it's done. That's because all we can do is control ourselves. Yeah. Let me know what you think. Dave, thanks. Crap. Sorry, Big Dave again from Tennessee. Hi, Dave. Thanks for your honesty about your negative patterns you are still working on, past Q&A, and getting rid of people too quickly. Do you find yourself wanting to reach out to friends or intimate relationships, but not necessarily sexual, you cut off in the last 2 to 3 years? Wishing you had not cut them off too quickly, maybe even allowing 2 to 4 chances, because we are all human. As you said in your last video, we are all in the same world together. So I haven't cut anybody off in my life like that, like too quickly, in many years. Any relationship I've ended in the last several years, I did it because I wanted to, and no, I have no inclination to contact them again, nor do I want them to contact me. Not for any bad reasons. I haven't had any bad people that you guys consider bad people in my life for many years. I can think of one toxic person I met a few years ago, and I ended it with dignity. I ended it with respect, and I gave closure, which was honesty, perfectly. So I haven't thrown people away out of my life for many years. I just want to be clear on that. And so, because you asked cut off in the last 2, I haven't cut anyone off like that in the last 2, 3 years, and I definitely don't want to talk to anybody that I've ended relationships with, or they've ended one with me. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Yeah, friends or girlfriends or anybody like that. Anyone that I've ended relationships with in the past many years, that's how I want it. And I told them why. Okay? No regrets. Just learn from it. Don't do it again. Rory again. Hi, Rory. My question is, I've heard you mention before that attention doesn't mean intention. I just wanted to mention how his attention was used to introduce me to things I realized I didn't want in my life. He used it to use me, abuse me, accuse me, refuse me, seduce me, excuse me, and misuse me. Could you please elaborate more on how attention doesn't mean intention? Thank you, David, from spring-like weather in Ohio. Good, you have good weather over there. What I think, and I know this pertains to something I brought up, which would be at least 2 weeks ago now, and I just can't remember what I was talking about then. That got you to ask me this question. And what it just sounds like you're asking me is just manipulation, right, Rory? If I give you a lot of attention, which is focusing on something, but my intention is my plan, what I want from it. So 2 different things, right? Even though both may be focusing on something. But I can shower you with attention because my intention is to get something from you. And so I can get excited about something. And if you care about me and you're in my life, you'll probably just get excited just because I'm excited, just because you have empathy and sympathy with me. And you don't necessarily care. If you care about me, you don't have to care about something I'm interested in. You care that I'm interested in it, if that makes sense. But I can give you attention. I can give something attention. I can say I want something, and it doesn't necessarily explain my intention. Can you give me a specific example or remind me of what I was talking about a couple weeks ago for you to spark your interest and ask me this question? What I think of is just manipulation, right? I can just give you lots of attention because my intention is I don't want you to know that I actually want something from you, right? Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I can't give examples. How about you give me an example this week, and then I'll dive more into it next week. Thanks, Roy. Martha. Don't know where you're from. If you get a chance, let us know your location, please. Thank you. Hi, David. I missed your live Q&A, but have a question. They're not live. It's okay. You didn't miss it. It has been fascinating and disturbing to learn about NPD. When I first left my ex 5 years ago, I read a lot about evil spirits that work through narcs. Then I found so much science and psychology on NPD that has been my focus. My thoughts now that I understand that narcs are empty vessels go back to the spiritual aspects of narcissism. What are your thoughts or evil spirits inhabiting narcs' bodies? I don't believe in that, so I don't have any thoughts. Right? I don't believe there's evil spirits that take over our bodies. I think possession, stuff like that, is mental illness, 100%. And I know that somebody that believes in Christianity is going to think differently and say, oh, David, no, you don't need to do that. You don't need to change my mind. And I'm not trying to change your mind. It seems like anytime I mention anything that has to do with, or you guys mention anything that has to do with religion, it's like it's supposed to open up some debate, and it's not. I respect that you believe that there's evil spirits trying to inhabit your bodies and other people's bodies, but what I do is I just say that evil lies in all of us. We're all capable of evil actions and behaviors. And when somebody is doing evil things, that is somebody that's doing evil things, and we hold them accountable, and we don't say that there's an evil spirit inside of you that's forcing you to do this stuff. Look up like Scientology. They believe that evil alien spirits are in your bodies and you have to get them out and stuff like that. I just don't believe that, right? So I don't really have much else to say about it. Okay? I respect anybody else that believes in, the Jezebel spirit and stuff like that. I don't. And I'm not saying that I don't think there's life after death. I've seen some crazy things and witnessed some crazy things that suggest that there is something after death. I just don't believe there's evil spirits, and I don't believe that there's spirits that enter your body and make you do weird things. That's usually mental illness. Okay? Thank you, Martha. Monica. I can't remember where you're from, Monica. I'm sorry. I just ended a relationship that was intense, where my partner got upset if I couldn't see him certain times. Sounds like no autonomy, privacy. Why do they call me crying, saying I'm the only one, and without me, my life is meaningless? So they're saying, without you, my life is just meaningless. I have no life. Well, in relationships where we're having our emotional needs neglected, that means that we don't have autonomy, we don't have privacy, things like this. But what it sounds like people, if we're talking about somebody with borderline personality disorder or narcissistic personality disorder, you have somebody that's not self-reliant, somebody that grew up and does not know how to meet their needs themselves, for themselves. We have a relationship with ourselves, we have emotional needs, we must learn how to meet our own emotional needs. Or we become reliant and dependent on someone else. Imagine if you were dependent on someone else to eat. We could only go 3 weeks max without food before we die. So imagine if the only person that can feed me is gone for a week and a half. Right? I got 10 days max to live. Please don't leave me. Please. My life has no meaning. I can't take care of myself. Right? Do you see that? Somebody who has no self-awareness, no relationship with themselves. Somebody that can't take care of themselves, meet their own needs, reassure themselves, and stuff like this. Somebody who's become obsessed on you because the autonomous lines are blurred. Think of a borderline who has a fragmented self, who only is aware of one little fragment of who they are. And if you leave me, you'll take that with you. And I'm left with nothing. Okay? Scary. Scary to people like that. It's real. The fear is real. And here again, we're just afraid of ourselves. And that's sad. And I know a lot of you guys are afraid of yourselves. You're literally just afraid of yourself. You're afraid of how something will feel. And those are your feelings. To be that afraid of a feeling means we may not be able to calm ourselves, regulate ourselves, offer ourselves security. Does that make sense? Thank you, Monica. Let me know what you think. I wrote here, because they are afraid of themselves. No self-awareness or reliance makes them very dependent on others to regulate them. Yeah. That's why building a relationship with ourselves and knowing who we are and what our needs are and how to have them met and learning how to communicate better is essential. Daryl from Vancouver, Canada. Hi, Daryl. I was wondering if you can delve more into splitting with the borderline. And then you mentioned maybe it's a whole nother video, and I agree. I am almost positive I've made a video on psychological splitting, and it's probably in my borderline playlist, but time for another one. I always have more information anyway. So look soon for a video on the borderline and psychological splitting. Black and white thinking. All or none. You're either good or you're bad. I mean, can you imagine? And I know that a lot of us are doing this too. When we come out of trauma and we don't know how to protect ourselves, our brains become hypervigilant, and it's like, oh, are you good or bad person? And that just doesn't work, guys. And that's why the last question about religious views on people, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You're good, you're bad. You're evil, you're heavenly. You're omnipotent, or you're the devil. I mean, human beings, we just aren't like this. Look at politics. I'm sorry, but we all are a little conservative and a little liberal. Anything extreme on either side is sick. You're screwed. You want to argue, and you want to accuse, and you want to label. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work. We're all a little good and a little bad, right? You can do that with anything. I think the first rule of man was nothing too much. And we get into what foods are bad and unhealthy, or drugs are bad and unhealthy. Not if we need drugs, right? Not if, chocolate's so bad. Well, we can have a little chocolate sometimes, a little sugar, a little salt, a little fat, a little carbs, right? But the people that say, no, you can't have any carbs. Well, good luck with that. No, I eat zero sugar my entire life. Well, that's good, I guess. But I don't know what, are you going to be rewarded in death for it or something? Like, you aren't going to live much longer. There's an average life expectancy. I think it's 75 right now, and it's rare anyone makes it to 90. And the last person I can remember making it to 100 was like George Burns. Says you need a cigar and a shot of whiskey every day. Now, I don't agree with that, and I don't live my life like that. But that's how he did. I would say sounds like he enjoyed his life, all 90-something, 100 years of it that he lived. My point is no extremes, okay? But splitting, that's what it is. Splitting. I had bad service at a restaurant. The whole restaurant is horrible and needs to be burnt down. And you don't go there. Don't support that place. It's bad. And I'm going to go live a 0-star review and just go off on how bad the food is and the service and the management, even though I didn't meet the manager. And I found something, little dirt in the corner. It's dirty. That is keep me safe. And so the borderline psychologically splitting, most of it is I'm totally dependent and relying on other people. So I need some people to help me, right? But I don't know how to protect myself, and most people hurt me. So you're either bad or good. You're either here to help me or hurt me. Which one is it? Oh, you help me. Oh, I love you. You're so amazing. Wait, what'd you say to me? Oh, God, you're going to hurt me. You're evil. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, it's like water. Remember when we used to think that you have to drink 8 glasses of water a day? Well, if it's your day off and you're not doing anything, you want to shove 8 glasses of water down your throat? I've heard that that's really bad for you. I've heard drinking no water is bad for you. Oh, maybe somewhere in the middle. How about when you're thirsty, you drink water? Yeah, I'm just waiting for someone to live 150 and say, I did it because I had no sugar, I had no water, I had 8 glasses of water a day, I worked out hard every day, I never smoked a cigarette, I never touched alcohol, I never, yeah, you just, it doesn't exist for a good reason. You'll see people psychologically splitting all day long on the internet. I'll make a video about it. Thanks for asking. Victoria from the Bay Area. Hi, Victoria. Good to see you again. I have a question for you. A friend of mine needs help. His best friend moved into his apartment. He slowly found out he's an alcoholic. Isn't that interesting? I would say there's a problem. If you didn't know that your best friend is an alcoholic, there's a problem. There's no open communication. There's definitely no emotional connection. Anyway, if he doesn't stop drinking, he will lose his life. Fast, no liver, life. Do you have any suggestions on what he can do in this situation? Is it possible you could do a video or just some words of advice? I realize you're a busy man, but if you do have the time, I would appreciate it. I always have the time. Look, what can anybody do about his drinking? Nothing. Nothing. And help isn't, drop the AA pamphlets off and the stories about what happens when you keep drinking and liver failure and keep asking and begging. Do you want, and this is to your friend, I guess, do you want to watch this guy die in your apartment? No? Then tell him to leave. And anyone that says that's not compassionate, oh, hell yeah, it is. It's extremely self-compassionate. Extremely. Drinking a bottle out of a bottle, he doesn't have to do that, and he doesn't need to do that. He wants to. He may not realize that at this point in his drinking career. But we don't have to put up with this. Nobody does. And there's no wrong or right. I have decided that I'm going to stick by this friend until he dies. Great. Okay. I mean, if I cared about you, I'd say, well, how's it feeling? You might say, oh, God, it's awful. It's stressful. I can't, it's even seeping into my work life and bothering me while at work. I get home and I see him. I have to hear him coughing. And okay, you still want to do that? I mean, if you tell me, oh, I need to, I'm supposed to, I'll say, no, you don't. If you say I want to, great. Have fun. But you don't have to. Don't need to. You want to. Great. I knew a lady that wanted to give every penny away she had every month. And she loved it. She enjoyed it. She wanted to do it. Great. Who am I to say that I'm different? I don't want to do that. I'm different than her. Right? If this guy wants someone to die in his apartment because he wants to help his friend die and keep drinking, go ahead. You're not going to make him stop drinking. Why would you want to do that? He wants to drink himself to death, it sounds like. Let him. And I mean that. I don't think there should be laws against taking your life or hurting yourself. I don't think there should be laws against drugs, stuff like that. Somebody wants to do it, let him do it. And I'm going to go back to, how did he not know he was an alcoholic if he was his best friend? The relationship is a little estranged already. That's weird. I mean, you can't tell that their health is declining, that they have alcohol in their breath, their eyes are bloodshot and glossy, and their speech is slurred. And I mean, I've lived with an alcoholic. I remember a fully functioning alcoholic. I thought this guy was, but in 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, this guy's an alcoholic. Smelled like alcohol, acts funny, acts weird. It's not your fault if you didn't know. It's the fault of the relationship. But there is no wrong or right, guys. I just recommend doing what you want to do. There's not much we have to do or need to do. Really isn't. You guys are more than welcome to go down below and say something that we have to do. We don't have to abide by the law. We don't have to pay our bills. No, you don't. Well, David, it gets hot in the summer. Yes, and? Oh, you want air conditioning? Maybe you want to work. It's a lot better when we want to. But I guarantee you, people who show up for work late all the time or not at all, they don't want to. People that procrastinate, it's because you don't want to do it. That's why reframing helps. Reframing really is just being more self-aware. It's not just lying to yourself. I don't know what else advice to give. We just accept that this person's an alcoholic and he's probably going to die from it, right? That's the path we're on. He has massive liver failure and he's still drinking every day. Okay, so he's going to drink himself to death. We can't do this and hope that someone will change when he doesn't want to. He just drinks the bottle again. There's nothing we can do. You want to make suggestions? Fine. What are you going to suggest? Alcoholics Anonymous, 2% success rate. Treatment? Inpatient treatment? Sure, mention it. I'm sure he's aware of it. You know what gets someone to stop drinking? Loss. Hey, you can't live here if you keep drinking. Sorry, I didn't know that you were such an alcoholic. And the reason is because I can't watch you die. I care about you. I don't like your coughing or your vomiting or your sweating profusely and smelling. Alcoholics tend to smell. They have so much toxins in their body, it literally comes out their pores. They'll even smell like urea. Their breath could smell like urine. It's disgusting. And if you want to watch someone die, that's about one of the worst. If you've ever watched someone die from alcoholism, it is bad. Ooh, bad. But it's real simple. I don't want you to drink in my house anymore. You let him make the decision. It's his choice, right? If he says, well, I want to continue to drink, okay, well, can you live somewhere else, please? That's not mean, guys. See, this is our programming. If you guys are looking at me and saying, well, that's mean, say, okay, so I'm supposed to let somebody live in my house and kill themselves with alcohol, right? That's nice. Okay, then call me mean. I'm not putting up with that. That's gross. I really don't even drink alcohol. I'm not going to watch someone drink themselves to death. Get some help. Get some damn help. Oh, it's hard. Yeah? What isn't hard? What is so easy in life? Yeah. We make the biggest changes in our life because of loss or fear of loss. It's real easy. I mean, you take a husband who's an alcoholic, who's drank for 24 years, and the children are almost grown up, but not quite, and the wife, is just done with it and says, that's it, I'm taking the kids, I want a divorce. Okay, I'll quit drinking. See? Or I lost everything. I have nothing to live for. Better find something. Better find something. And when you do, maybe you can finally quit drinking. But you can't control this. Nobody can. If anybody can control it, it's only him. And I'll take you to treatment. I'll give you a ride. You need 10, 20 bucks or something. Okay. That's what help looks like. Not sit there and listen to it and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I understand why you drink. Yeah, keep drinking. Here, I'll go get you a bottle. Codependency, the term really derived from the dynamic between, like the perfect example is the husband who drinks a 6-pack every day and abuses his wife at night because he's drunk. But the wife the next day gives him the 6-pack of beer again and it just goes like this. That's the codependency. If your friend believes he's worthy of healthy people in his life, then he'll tell this unhealthy person, sorry, I can't have you in my life. You're too unhealthy. But when you decide to, if you decide to quit drinking and become healthier, then we can be friends again. But I'm not going to sit and watch you do this in my home. You didn't tell me that you have a drinking problem, that you drink every day and that you pass out on my couch and create messes and pee your pants or vomit or whatever it is, because it gets real ugly. Alcoholism is so bad that someone could just stop drinking and die from it. And I can see it already. Someone out there is like, see, David? See, you can't just tell him to stop. Yeah, I'm not telling him anything. I'm telling him I can't do it here. Not my home. Not my world. And we can't control our environment, but we can choose it, guys. Here's one environment. Do I want to stay in it? No. Go to another one. I hope I was clear. Ask me any more questions you have about it. Thank you, Victoria. Rel Rodriguez is a mother of 2 children, 3 and 5 years old, in California, who was discarded by what she believes is a undiagnosed, untreated, borderline fiance. Still no contact, only when it has to do about our children. I always like to thank you for helping me heal. It's been a tough road, I bet. You're welcome. Thank you for thanking me. Another question. My ex undiagnosed fiance disappeared on me and my 3 and 5-year-old 7 months ago, just because I kind of ignored him for a week and a half. And then he sent me a random text days later saying he left us because he had been feeling sad, anxious, confused, tension, lost, depressed, empty, unloved, uncared for, etc., and that he needed to heal. To us normal people, this is impulsive and odd behavior. With all the BPD unregulated emotions, do they think or feel their actions are not normal? Do you think they know or feel or think something is wrong with them? In my case, do you think my ex undiagnosed BPD thinks something is wrong with him since he's feeling all these weird, crazy, unregulated emotions? And do you think he thinks the way he just left us is of a normal human being to do to his family? Hope it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. And you're asking me about, because you said they as if all borderlines, and just like every human being is different, so is every borderline's different. Very similar behaviors, but then you'll get into, people say there's 2 types, 4 types of borderline, stuff like that. So you're asking me about his self-awareness, and I don't know. Self-awareness is like an iceberg, right? You're only aware of the tip, and there's all this down below people aren't aware of, just like you and I. That's why you're asking me questions you're not quite aware. So I don't know what his awareness is. Borderline is also a spectrum disorder. And so some, of most of the personality disorders of the 10, a lot of borderlines are very aware they have a problem and that the problem is theirs, and they cause problems in relationships and ruin and destroy people's lives, believe it or not. There's a lot of them that are very aware. And I get a lot of them, you guys who are watching, down in the comment section and tells me things. You described my disorder perfectly. You described my behaviors perfectly. You're right. You described how I feel perfectly. So there is some self-awareness. There's some tip of that iceberg that they can see, just like the rest of us. But the problem, there's more problems than that. People that have so much shame, it's hard to look at themselves and really take accountability and introspect. It hurts too much. They can't handle being alone with themselves. That's how much they hate themselves. He's admitting he has problems with all the way he feels. He's staying away from the family for the most part. Realizing he's dysfunctional and it causes him stress, I'm sure he'd be willing to admit that he's got problems. Would he admit that he has a personality disorder if the doctor told him? I don't know. Is he telling himself that he's doing this because of what you did to him, blaming you? I don't know. A lot of them do that. A lot of them do that. And, we all have to live with ourselves. And nobody's perfect. So we all have problems. We all have to accept this. And we're stuck with ourselves. What are we going to do? Well, people that hate themselves or they're unable to change, sometimes will blame other people. And it takes the attention right off of them. But then they can live with themselves. They can live with that. I didn't cause all this. I didn't do all this. It's not all my fault. I'm not just the failure. They are too, But if they can't do that, they're going to say it's your fault and stuff. So I don't know this person. I don't know their self-awareness. I would imagine that he knows that he has problems. I don't know how old he is. If this person's in his 40s, this isn't his first rodeo. The last relationship, the one before that, were like this. And a lot of borderlines can see that pattern. I've heard it. I've seen it. I'll just destroy you, just like all the others. I'll just ruin this relationship. It'll never work out. But they still started it, didn't they? They still went on a dating site and went on dates and told people, I love you. Let's be together forever. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to ruin your life. I got to go by. See that self-awareness? Where it was here and where it was there and there and there and all these different days. I know I can't just give you a precise answer, except that it's a spectrum, the disorder, and awareness is like a iceberg. So I guarantee you he's not fully aware. I don't know how many people in the world are fully aware of who they are. You know, I always use the reference of the monks on Mount Tibet sit there and reach full enlightenment. No, they don't. No, they don't. And you definitely ain't going to learn all about yourself completely alone and not talking to anyone for a year. They take these vows sometimes for years to not talk to anyone. Yeah, we're too social of a creature to learn all about yourself in isolation. You'll learn a lot about yourself, sure. Yeah, could be very good for a lot of people, necessary. But no. And I don't care how much enlightenment you reach or achieve one day. You go to bed, wake up, got to start over. Okay? Self-awareness is something we all must be working on till the day we die. And that's why I think healing is a journey that never ends. There's no finish line, guys. It's called life. All right? Emily from South Africa. Hi, Emily. Good to see you again. Hi, David. Hope everything is going well. Does antidepressants help in curing CPTSD, and what effect does it have on recovery? And you mentioned, Daniel, I've joined a karate class and found it to be helpful because it is a very organized setting and is predictable, and because you are in a certain place at a certain time and you only have to think about what is happening at that moment. Love it. Something I recommend to people a lot. Some type of martial arts class, even Tai Chi. Love it, love it, love it. Relaxing, focusing, meditative, building confidence, self-awareness. Going to a class and sharing a common interest with people instead of a dating site just for sex and dating. Perfect. Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. Antidepressants are not a cure to CPTSD. You said, can it help cure? Now that's a tricky question. Generally, really no. Antidepressant is just a name. Okay? They give it that name because that's the drug they give to people who are depressed. Now, we all might face some sort of depression in our lives. There's situational depression that usually follows loss, relationships. Someone leaves us, divorce, or I lose somebody, they die. We're forced to introspect, and since we're not perfect, sometimes there's parts of ourselves we don't like, it hurts to see, it causes depression. Loss is about us. So, if I'm too depressed and I can't function because the feelings are too intense, I can take a drug that numbs that. That's it. And think of emotion as like one thing, even though there's tens of thousands of emotions. An antidepressant is an anti-emotion. It literally cuts off circuits in our brain so we aren't feeling all of our emotions. Now, I truly believe to cure depression, we have to be on the other side. We have to experience some joy and happiness in our life. Do you see that? Kind of pull us out of it. Be excited about something, really highly interested. I've seen that dampen with people that take antidepressants, and I'm not against them. I believe that they're necessary, and I believe some people need them, and those people that need them should take them. But what I believe, and I'm not a doctor, just a professional coach's opinion, just from my own experiences, and I'm talking about working with people that are depressed. What I've seen is there are people that need them. They feel so bad at some point in their life, they need them. Take them. But what I would like to see is there's a plan. And that's where I've seen a lot of failure at, is a therapist gets all their clients on antidepressants, and that's it. It's like, well, what's the plan? Like, just take antidepressants forever? That won't work. No, we've got to get off the antidepressants and get out of depression by experiencing happiness, excitement, and joy. And that's emotion. So antidepressants are just anti-emotion. Okay? What I've noticed with people that are traumatized is they don't even work. The sensors in our brain aren't working. And so I'll notice people take antidepressants, they tell me, oh no, I don't even notice much of a change, still depressed. And then they get off them, and they don't feel anything either, which is crazy because most people that get off antidepressants, usually it causes massive depression. People are pretty scared to get off antidepressants, but then I'll see clients that get off them and no difference. That really shows a lot about like your serotonin receptors. They aren't working. Alcohol, just alcohol alone, like if these are neurons, right, and in the area between these dendrites is a synapse. And alcohol doesn't just kill your brain cell. It comes and goes all along these dendrites, right, and starts damaging them like this. And now you're not receiving or sending the correct brain messages. That's why driving drunk, our reactions are slow. You can just give someone a test like this, and you'll see their eyes go like this. Can't keep up, can't flow evenly. Damaged brain, damaged, and they have to get off the alcohol and wait quite a while before these things start going back. Luckily they can, doesn't mean they will, but being sober and sleeping well, the only time our brains can repair itself, is essential. So antidepressants aren't a cure. I think in the journey of healing, some people need them so they can assist. Like supplements. You're not going to cure CPTSD by supplements. Will they help? Oh yeah, they can. I have tons of supplements I recommend to my clients that are effective, and they're not drugs. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Emily. Thank you for sharing that. Here, I got something here. Oh no, that's it. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for your questions. Please support by subscribing, sharing, commenting. Let us know your own experiences, okay? Most of all, everybody, love yourself first. Thanks. See you next week. Bye-bye.